Hello students, today we are going to start the chapter Chemical Bonding and Molecular Structure. Okay, so let us start with first atom only. Okay, atom, can it exist in the independent form? No, isn't it? Now, molecule, can it exist in the independent form? Yes, it can exist. Okay, so which is more stable? Molecule will be more stable than atom, isn't it? So, what happens when we see an atom and when we see a molecule? Atom doesn't have any shape. Why? We have studied in the previous chapters, okay, about the probability of finding the electrons, okay, and here this can't give it a shape. But what happens with case of molecule? Okay, here we see the shape. Why? This is due to the attractive force which is held, okay, which held the atom together, and that attractive force which held the atoms together is called what? A chemical bond. Okay, so when a molecule is formed, naturally there is some reaction, some bond formation going on, okay, and that bond formation is due to the attractive forces, okay, so and that gives what? Shape to the molecule. Now, every system, okay, it tends to become more stable, okay. How will it become more stable? When its energy will be low, isn't it? And its energy is lowered by forming what? Bonding. And if bonding is formed, naturally it will become more stable. Okay. So for this, various theories were given, okay, regarding stability of the atom. Okay. And one of the primitive theory is Kozal and Lewis theory. Okay. He gave an approach to chemical bonding. Okay. According to Lewis, he said that atom consists of positive charge kernels, okay, and outer shell electrons, okay, the maximum number of electrons which can be accommodated in the outer shell. Okay, so what are these first positive charge kernel? Actually, this kernel, okay, it consists of nucleus plus the inner electrons. Okay, so how? Let me explain you. Like sodium, okay. Okay, if we are going to do the right, it's arrangement of the electrons, we write what? 2, 8 and 1, isn't it? So here 2 and 8, okay, these electrons plus the nucleus, okay, is said to be what? Kernel, okay, and this one is the outer electron present in sodium, okay. Now, according to Lewis, he said, what did he say? That yes, in this outer shell, maximum electron must be 8, okay, and this occupies where? The corners of the cube which is surrounded by the kernel. It means what? You can see here there is a cube, isn't it? Here, these corners are accommodated by the outer electrons, okay, and the inner electrons, okay, are, and the nucleus is inside. It means the kernel is surrounded by the what? The outermost electrons, okay. So here in this, if we want to say, it means for sodium, if we are saying, it means 2 and 8 are inside with the nucleus, and the electron, one of the electron is present in the corner, okay. So here, how do we represent the elements, okay, in case of Lewis, okay. He said that the elements, the atom of the elements are represented by its outermost electrons, okay. The inner, the kernel is not being shown, okay. So when we try to write lithium, what will be showing? Only the outermost electron, okay. Now beryllium, outermost electron will be how much? 2, isn't it? Now for boron, it will be how much? 3, okay. So these are the outermost electron present in the atoms of that element. Now coming to the significance of Lewis symbols. Okay, so what is the significance of Lewis symbols? Okay, Lewis is also following what? The octet rule. What is the octet rule? Okay, in this it means what? The atom must consist of 8 electrons in its outermost shell, isn't it? There should be 8 electrons in the outermost shell of the atom of the element, and then only the octet is complete, and this is known as what? Octet rule. And in order to have 8 electrons in its outermost shell, these what? These atoms of the elements goes into what? chemical bonding, okay, and so in order to follow what? The octet rule, and octet rule says about the stability of the atom, isn't it? Now, this Lewis symbols also, it said what? That yes, the electrons, the last outermost electrons are only represented, isn't it? Like if I write of lithium, it is only one, sodium, it is only one, isn't it? If I write magnesium, it is how many? How many? Two, isn't it? So in this manner it is represented. So what is the significance of this Lewis symbols? Actually, this Lewis symbols says about the electrons present in the outermost cell. Okay, so if it is telling about the electrons in the outermost shell, like you can see in this 1 and 1, and here it is 2, it means lithium requires 8, or it should give one electron so that it will have 8, isn't it? Like sodium, it will give 1 electron, okay, and then it will be stable having 8 electrons in its second shell, okay. Magnesium, it can give 2 electrons and can have 8 electrons in its outermost shell, then that is the second shell, isn't it? Like if I say about chlorine, okay, chlorine it is represented how? 7 electrons are there, okay, and here it can take 1 electron and its octet can be complete. So it is telling about how many electrons will participate in the bonding so that they will be stable in nature and can follow the octet rule. For example, here, so this sodium can give 1 electron to this, and it can become stable, and here chlorine can also become stable in nature. So it is basically saying about the electrons participating in the chemical bonding, okay. So this is the significance of what? Lewis symbol, okay. It tells about the valence electrons, okay. It's a valency also. Here you can see that yes, like sodium, magnesium and all, okay, this valence electrons can say about its valency. And here also, how can we determine in this how many electron they are taking, okay, or 8 minus the electron in the valence shell. Like for example, sodium, I can say the valency is 1. For this chlorine, we can say what? It is what? 8 minus 7, and that is how much? 1. Okay, so these all can be determined by using what? Lewis symbol. And so this is the significance of the Lewis symbols. So this is all for today. Good day. Take care.